Hey guys, this is Jonathan from Woodland Gear of mywoodlandgear.com. Today we're going to be constructing the spring pole fish snare. So grab your gear and get ready for our next woodland adventure. Alright, for today's video, we're going to need a few materials and a couple tools. We're going to need a cutting tool. This is also going to be used to pound in the stakes. We're going to need a saw for cutting the stakes to length. A good sharp knife helps for sharpening the stakes, but you can use your axe. You're going to need some kind of cordage. This is just some cheap nylon cord. Some fishing material. This is just my pocket fishing kit that you've seen in my other video. We're going to need a small piece of a sapling about 8 inches. This is going to be part of our trigger. This will be the other part of our trigger. This is just a stake that we carved. It's probably about 2.5 foot long. Then we got this much larger stake here that we'll hammer into the ground to about halfway. And we got an 8 to 10 foot green sapling. Has to be green. That's very important because you're going to want it to be springy and flexible. And we'll lash this to this stake. You can skip this step. You don't need this stake if you already have a sapling that's growing close proximity to the waterway. All right, first thing we did was we took the larger stake and we hammered it into the ground till there was about 1.5 feet sticking out. And then we took the sapling and we lashed it around several times to the stake. You're going to want to also carve a notch in the tip of your sapling. This just ensures that the line doesn't slip off when you tie it on. Next, we're going to take the second stake, the smaller one, and we're going to hammer it into the ground to where it's fairly secure. This is the notch. You're going to want to carve that in that the trigger piece is going to sit on. You only want it to go about 1/3 of the way through the stick, because if you go any further, you risk breaking off the top piece when you hammer it into the ground. Next, we're going to need to carve the trigger stick, and that's going to look like this here. This will be the part that the line and also the fishing line hook onto, this little groove, this trench. And this is the important part right here. This is the trigger mechanism, and it will hook onto your stake like this. You may have to carve this piece out a bit so it fits flat in there like that. And your line will come up and it'll pull tight like that. And hopefully there'll be tension, and when it sets off it'll just fly up. Okay, so now that we got our trigger measured out to the correct length, we got our fishing line tied onto the trigger piece. This is about 15-20 feet of 20-pound test fishing line. You're going to want a stronger fishing line so it doesn't break as easily from the jerking motion of the branch. After that, we just got a simple bobber and got a grasshopper that we caught for bait. We're going to toss it out here, set it, and see what happens. All right guys, you just learned how to make and set the spring pole fishing snare. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a like or subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching, and remember, adventure is waiting.